Over 11 million Americans are at high risk of having a heart attack or stroke in the next 10 years, at least, that's what the numbers say. The equation doctors use to estimate cardiovascular risk is prone to miscalculation, according to a new study, meaning patients may be popping daily aspirin or statins at the wrong dosage. The stakes are higher for African Americans. With the old equation, 1 in 29 African Americans may be incorrectly labeled very low or very high risk, according to the study. For example, a 46-year-old black man was estimated to have a 40% lower chance of having a heart attack or stroke than a white man of the same age and in identical health. In general, African Americans are at higher risk of cardiovascular conditions than Caucasians, so miscalculations shouldn't be taken lightly. The heart risk calculator transforms patient information, age, gender, race, cholesterol levels, blood pressure, prescriptions, and whether they are diabetic or a smoker, into a percentage. That percentage estimates the chance that patient will have a heart attack or stroke in the next 10 years. The number is just one element of a patient's overall cardiovascular evaluation, but it gives patients an idea of where they stand, health-wise. Then they can talk with their doctor about potential lifestyle modifications or preventative medications. In 2013, the heart risk equations were updated by the American Heart Association and American College of Cardiology. The good news, the new math incorporated a variety of risk factors as well as data from minority populations, rather than exclusively Caucasians. Bad news, estimates generated by the new equation are often wrong. I saw a patient in clinic who I thought was at very high risk of having a stroke, said Sanjay Basu, a Stanford physician and senior author of the new study. I calculated his risk using the standard calculator and it kind of bizarrely suggested that he was very low risk, despite having quite high cholesterol and smoking tobacco. Basu said he noted other instances of gross misestimation. Both high and lowballing patients' risk, and physicians across the field have reported the same. Guidelines set forth by the ACC and AHA advise physicians to utilize this faulty equation, he said, and he wanted to see how it might be improved. The study, published in the Annals of Internal Medicine Monday, tuned the calculator in two ways. First, the researchers updated the data the equation is based on. Though a fraction of the data used in the 2013 equation is from this century, some was collected in the 80s and 90s, and some as early as 1948. In the 1940s, public health was different, smoking was the norm, polio was still a problem, and the toxic pesticide DDT coated every surface. Public health was different, and so was people's cardiovascular risk. The updated calculator uses data collected between 1983 and 2014 to capture a more accurate health profile of the modern-day American. Besides using more recent data, the Stanford researchers revamped how those numbers are crunched. The 2013 method produces a trend line from the data it has at hand, including both normal cases and outliers that might skew its predictions. It makes a number of assumptions in order to lump patients onto this trend line, without really capturing the nuance of their particular combination of risk factors. For minority populations, who have been studied less, this method is more likely to turn out wacky risk assessments. The Stanford researchers updated this statistical approach using machine learning. It's kind of like dictation software. The more you talk to the dictation software, the better it gets at dictating because it learns from your voice, Basu said. Similarly, the researchers trained their new calculator to recognize patterns in patients' risk profiles. The more data they feed it, the more fine-tuned its calculations become. In particular, the method significantly reduced the number of oddball estimates made about African American patients. The new calculations may indicate that, for a lot of African Americans, their risk is quite a bit higher than they originally thought, Basu said. The researchers made their statistical code available for use online, so that other medical scientists might test it themselves. Even if the updated equation proves more accurate, though, physicians cautioned that it's only useful to a point. People who are low risk can have heart attacks, people who are high risk might not, said Rita Redberg, a cardiologist at UC San Francisco. In a way, these risk assessments are like weather forecasts. An 80% chance of rain doesn't guarantee a storm. Redberg said the best way to utilize the risk equation is to demonstrate how patients can reduce their numbers by making healthy lifestyle changes. You get the most bang for your buck in terms of reducing your cardiac risk by following a Mediterranean-style diet, getting regular physical activity, and not smoking, she said. Basu also impressed that the risk calculator can help physicians frame discussions with their patients. Even though everyone says this is just a number and it's just one piece of the decision-making process, it often weighs heavily for people, he said. That number informs the degree in which patients feel compelled to make lifestyle modifications. You might also apply for credit cards and get an anti-theft bag worth www.bankbazaar.sg. Malaysia needs changed, says Najib's brother. Print edition. 7 ways to support your immune system. Print edition. This is why you still suffer from cold sore. Watch healthnewstips.today. Why doctors will no longer prescribe metformin. Watch healthnewstips.today. Learn to automate your trades with MT4IG. Singapore. 5 naked people in car crash. The story gets weirder. MercuryNews.com. Olivia Nova dies. Latest in string of porn star deaths. MercuryNews.com. Brad Pitt rips Angelina Jolie, says she has no. MercuryNews.com. Recommended by